All right. Over the weekend, before tampering began on Monday, free agency wise, we had a trade. There were hints that Jalen Ramsey might get traded from the Rams. Jalen Ramsey got traded from the Rams to the Dolphins. And here's the thing. Back in September 2020, Jalen Ramsey signed a 5-year, $100 million deal with the Rams. And that included a $25 million signing bonus and $71 million guaranteed. So you might ask yourself, if you're talking to former general manager Rick Spielman, how in the world, for someone that special, did the Rams only get a 3rd-round pick plus second-year tight end Hunter Long in terms of compensation? Because if he's one of the best cornerbacks in the NFL, shouldn't you get more than that? What's your response to that?
Well, you have to look at the draft compensation, and what is not known is how much the monies did LA Rams pay any of that contract, and are they so that it could fit into Miami's cap situation, what they have down there, and they had to clear enough room to make sure it was able to fit. But a lot of times in the negotiations, and recently over the last couple of years, when you make these type of trades, you might say, well, gosh, shouldn't they have gotten more value than that? But it is also the compensation, and sometimes teams are buying part of that contract. I've been in a situation where we traded for a player. We gave up a 4th-round pick, I believe, 4th or 5th-round pick. We were at a 5, but since they paid most of the compensation and we got the player for minimum, it moved up to a 4. So a lot of times part of the negotiation is you're going to take on this size contract. I understand the draft capital compensation is light, but how much is that other team paying for that portion of the bill? So you're getting a player. So maybe, what was he scheduled to make, Ryan? Do you know, this year?
Yeah. He was scheduled to make this year in 2023. He's base salary $17 million. Cap hit was going to be $17 million. Dead cap was $12.5 million.
Okay, so let's say the $17 million that's coming. Well, okay, let's say the Rams. If I'm the Miami Dolphins and the Rams pay 10 of that 17, I'm getting a player for $7 million and a 3rd-round pick.
Right.
So if they played the whole thing and he was playing for minimum, I would want more draft compensation.
So what does this do to you quickly? I'm going to go deep into this, but in terms of what it means for the Rams, I mean, for the Dolphins, because our buddy Pete Prisco tweeted over the weekend that the Dolphins are still the 5th or 6th best team in the conference. And of course, Dolphins fans were incredibly angry, but if, they're bringing back Tua, they're picking up his 5th-year option, I believe was the word on the street. And if he's healthy, he can certainly play at a high level. And now you're bolstering this defense. Noah Igbinoghene hasn't really worked out. They're moving on from the cornerback that they signed from the Cowboys, whose name I can't remember right now.
Byron Jones.
Byron Jones, thank you. And this team feels like on paper, if they can fix this defense, they'll be right in the mix. What do you think?
Yeah, they don't forget last year they traded for Chubb as well.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Good Lord.
So they're building this team to win now. They got Tyreek Hill in the prime of his career. They're getting Jalen Ramsey, who's still very good, but maybe starting to get a little long in the tooth, but he still has a few good years. They were aggressive to go out and get Chubb. So they're trying to build this roster to win now, and everybody's trying to catch the Buffalo Bills. So they're going to do everything they can to try to win this division and see how far they can go. But this isn't a rebuild mode. They are in position now, and Chris Greer has done a good job on the draft, and now they're going more on, well, let's see how far we can go. Let's kind of put our chips in the middle of the table, and let's see how far we can get.
And if the Jets get Aaron Rodgers, then this division suddenly becomes like crazy town USA.
It was almost like what we saw and everything that happened in the AFC West last year.
Yeah.
Now it's a little bit of arms race going on. It started a little bit in the AFC East last offseason, with the Tyreek Hill trade and people trying to catch the Buffalo Bills. But now, Buffalo went out to sign Von Miller, and so everybody's trying to counter those moves. So this is the beginning of the arms race, and it looks like it's going to be the AFC East this year, especially if Aaron Rodgers ends up as a New York Jet.
Part of me thinks that the Jets might be better off long term with Jimmy G than Aaron Rodgers, but that's a conversation for.
Well, that's not, stop.
All right.